You are listening to the daily homily for Magdala in the Holy Land.
Jesus departed from there and came to his native place, accompanied by his disciples. When the Sabbath came, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many who heard him were astonished. They said, "Where did this man get all this? What kind of wisdom has been given him? What mighty deeds are wrought by his hands? Is he not the carpenter, the son of Mary, and the brother of James and Joseph and Judas and Simon? And are not his sisters here with us?" And they took offense of him. Jesus said to them, "A prophet is not without honor except in his native place, and among his own king, and in his own house." So he was not able to perform any mighty deed there, apart from curing a few sick people by laying his hands on them. He was amazed at their lack of faith. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Dear brothers and sisters, for those of us who live here in the Holy Land, it is amazing to read expressions like the last one. He was amazed at their lack of faith. At his hometown, Jesus took as layer of as a people that they could not believe. It's amazing that he could not perform many miracles because they lack faith on him. It's true that Nazareth was not a famed town, as we know, but Nathanael, he said, "From Nazareth come out any good people?" So I'm not sure what kind of people live there, but the truth is that they were amazed at the wisdom of Jesus, and at the same time they were reluctant to believe where he gets out all this wisdom. It's not the son of the carpenter. But maybe if we were in their shoes, we heard the same. Sometimes even happens to us when we meet somebody who excels in something and we say, "But this is not the son of our friends that we know since he was little child. How is it possible?" We are kind of reluctant to believe that somebody can excel in some fields, and it happened to the Son of God himself. I want to comment briefly the first reading because I love it. I love it, and I think that this is a reading that we should engrave in our forefront because we, in our culture, nowadays, young families are in deep crisis of authority. We have lost the culture of education, the culture of raising up the children. Young fathers and mothers, they do not know what to do with their children. And you can see easily from afar that the children play with them. You can see easily that the children become masters of their parents, and even some ideologies in the psychological field, educational field, pedagogical field, say, no, you cannot touch your children, don't do anything to them, don't raise even your voice because you will traumatize them. Of course you will traumatize them. Children are terribly traumatized by the lack of presence of their parents. Being parents, father and mother, with authority, with presence, with love, with caring for them. When they let them do whatever they want, poor children grow up almost traumatized. Now, this letter states something very interesting. In your struggle against sin, we are repeating the last phrase from yesterday. In your struggle against sin, you have not yet resisted to the point of shedding blood. Till here, we are on the same page of yesterday. You have also forgotten the exhortation addressed to you as children. Now we have to put in the shoes of children and to understand our parents. My son, do not disdain the discipline of the Lord, or lose heart when reproved by him. For whom the Lord loves, he disciplines. He scourges every son he acknowledges. Dear brothers and sisters, we need to go back to this. If God Himself disciplined His children, if He scourges His Son, it's because this is a good thing. And we need to remind about this, especially young families. Of course, you cannot discipline just for the sake of disciplining people, and you cannot scourge people just in any way. It has to be with love, with tenderness, when it's the right thing to do. There are many conditions, but I think in the past, our culture, the family culture, knew well enough when and how to do this. Why now they just look around and look at the moon when something happened with their children? Endure your trials as discipline. God treats you as His sons. We need to understand that when God allows something wrong to happen to us, it's not because He lacks love for us, but all the contrary. He loves us. And so He wants us to be trained in virtue. He wants us to grow in our capacities, in our virtues, in our fortitudes. If we don't exercise virtue, virtue will fade. God treats you as His sons. What a beautiful expression. We need to see our own life and reflect when God was disciplining me. What means He used to make me grow in faith, in will, in character, in fortitude, in wisdom, in understanding, in so many things. God is a good pedagogus. He raises up children very well formed if we allow Him to do so. For what son is there whom his father does not discipline? I'm so sorry, but the author of the letter of the Hebrews maybe could not write this sentence nowadays. For what son is there whom his father does not discipline? There are a lot. In past times, fathers will discipline their sons because they wanted to raise them properly, strong, good, mature. At the time, all discipline seems a cause not for joy, but for pain. Yet, later it brings the peaceful fruits of righteousness to those who are trained by it. Dear brothers and sisters, what a beautiful sentence for family life. Fathers and mothers, reread and meditate this expression, because you have to raise your children in a proper way. And you have to discipline them, to exercise them in virtue, in all virtues, in all their personality, to develop it as much as possible. I remember when I was novice, the formators at the novitiate had the duty of exercising us in virtue. And for that, sometimes they will ask us to obey strange things. And they did that with me. And I remember I was under the snow taking a little package, useless package, to the bus station. Big snow blizzard, you say? Blizzard. And I was walking on the snow taking this box, and I was asking myself, why to do this? I could do this tomorrow, after tomorrow. No. I had to grow in my obedience that very day. December 14, 1979. So let us ask the good Lord to train us as children, as parents, as families, in the proper way we can grow and become a better people.
Thank you for joining us today. If you want to learn more about Magdala, follow us on YouTube and on Facebook.